We already heard Trump is already beginning his quarantine, but that quarantine will eat into a good chunk of the rallies and the election campaigning. We are just a month away from those elections, after all. Is the anticipation then that he might have to reshape his campaign as a result of this positive COVID test?
I think it's interesting to think about how he might adjust his approach. Donald Trump has already done a lot of his campaigning through social media, in addition to the sort of more in-person grassroots outreach. So perhaps there will have to be a pivot there. The news about his coronavirus test, I think we might want to wait and see how that evolves over time. And see what kind of confirmation we get. But I'm imagining that those in his camp are nervous about how this will impact his campaigning.
I imagine as well there will be a lot of discussion about contingency plans on leadership, perhaps what this means for Mike Pence and what the effect on the U.S. battle against the virus is as a whole.
Indeed. As the speaker just before me mentioned, the president of the U.S. has been very optimistic and casual, and some would say negligent in his rhetoric about and handling of the coronavirus. And that's in part probably why he's had over 50% disapproval rating since March. If the reins get handed over to other members of his cabinet, to the vice president, that might shift the way that the U.S. handles this health crisis. It's unclear to me whether actually having the coronavirus would alter how President Trump sees the pandemic and whether he starts to take it more seriously.
Now, we have heard him say in the past that the end of the pandemic is in sight and other statements to that effect. Do you think his messaging, his line of communication will change with this diagnosis to the nation?
It's an interesting question. Donald Trump has shown himself to be quite resilient to reason and to facts on many occasions, with regards to the coronavirus and with regards to other issues. And so it'll be interesting to see how having the virus might alert him to its seriousness in a different way. He's had a strong incentive to say that the coronavirus is on its way out as we near the election, so that he can show himself to have been a responsible steward of the country during a time of great health trauma. But whether this actually changes the way he reads facts on the ground, whether he lets science instead of politics dictate how the government responds and tries to take care of the citizens, I don't know.